Alright, so to continue where we left off with the last video, we have 3 spheres on the top and 3 on the bottom. Now the ones on the top are very matte looking and the ones on the bottom are shiny. I just wanted to quickly go over the difference between a matte surface and a shiny surface, and it has to do with the contour. So if we like zoomed in way into maybe like that area of the sphere, it would look something like this. It's not going to be smooth because things generally aren't perfectly smooth, but on a matte surface it's not smooth at all. Now in contrast, a shiny surface is more smooth. It's still not going to be perfectly smooth, it's still going to have little bumps and imperfections, but it's going to be more smooth. And so when light hits a more smooth surface, let's say the light's coming from this corner, it tends to bounce off in one direction, more or less. Now there's going to be some scattering, of course, because it's not perfectly smooth, but more or less it's going to bounce in one direction, and so then you're going to get, you know, highlights, stronger highlights, like right there. By contrast with matte surfaces, there's all these different planes. See, that plane is facing that way, this plane is facing that way, this one's that way, this one's that way. So the light's going to hit and then it's going to bounce in different directions depending on the surface it hits, right? So that's why you don't get one really strong highlight and things get spread out much more. So if you want to make something more shiny, concentrate the highlight. If you want to make it less shiny, spread it out more and more. And also with reflected light, shinier surfaces are going to get more reflected light. So if I wanted to, because it's smooth, right? So when light bounces off, let's say there was a wall here and light bounces off, well, it's got more chance of bouncing and then hitting this again without scattering. As things scatter, the light gets more diffused. So we could take, for instance, like this red, and it could reflect more into this blue, which just heightens the shiny feeling of this blue sphere. So that's the main thing. Matte surfaces have a more rough contour or surface to them, which scatters the light, whereas shiny surfaces are more smooth. And if you get extremely smooth, then you get mirror reflections and chrome.